So yesterday we talked about couple of things about the DNS. Today we would be starting further topics. Before that, I would like to ask, do you have any doubts?
Not as such.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So today I would be starting our topic from something like how we can have different DNS solution in place for enterprise or maybe for the personal use. The very first thing which come into the picture is the hosted DNS. Hosted DNS. This hosted DNS also known as managed DS. Managed DNS. Okay. What does it mean? It refers to a service where a third party provider manage and maintain all the DNS record for your domain. Okay. So this is named as hosted DNS. Have you seen such thing ever, or do you have some examples in mind?
Not really.
No,
I never came across.
yes, sir. Same here. I haven't heard about the third party provider for
Okay.
DNS.
Okay. So let us say somebody is registering a domain. Okay. He or she need to set up a DNS record to specify how that domain name should be associated with specific IP addresses. And maybe let us say it can be for mail server, it can be some A records, it can be some C name. A record is what?
Host record, address record.
Right. So A record means mapping domain name to IP address. For mail, what kind of record we use?
MX record.
MX.
MX record. So MX record define your mail server for the domain. And for LICs, what kind of record we use?
CNAME. Canonical name.
Right. So any of the resource record you wanted to create, you need to create it using the third party provider. Like, let me tell you some of the very popular DNS, third party providers. Like you have Cloudflare. Have you heard about this organization, Cloudflare?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So one is the Cloudflare. Then you have Amazon Route 53. Then we have Google also. Google Cloud DNS. Okay. And there is a very big list which is coming into such a particular specific services for individual business or for organizations also. And let me tell you, all of these things provide a reliability stuff. What the reliability means here? Reliability means when your hosted DNS provider have multiple server in different location to ensure the high availability and the redundancy. It reduces the risk of downtime for, let us say, single server if you have, okay, and that is getting affected due to n number of reason or it got fail. So that risk can be eliminated using these third party providers. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Second, regarding the speed, these are the professional DNS providers and have across globe the like they are global network of servers, right? They are spread across the world. It means the resolution time for the users around the world will be faster rather than if you are placing a server in, let us say, India only. US users may experience some of latency. But in this case, across the world, you have here also, let us say they have placed, here also they have placed, here also they placed. Okay. The users who are closer to server 1, they will get response from server 1. But if an organization is only having a single DNS server, the user from this continent had to come to another continent for the DNS resolution, which will be a problem. Speed, or we can say latency. Okay. Then management. Let me tell you, all of these providers are providing you a user-friendly interface for managing your DNS records. So this makes it easier to add, or maybe if you want to edit something, modify something, or remove some, records as and when required, you can do it. So management is one of the points which you can add over here. Next, security. Can anybody let me know what kind of security we required for DNS thing?
I'm not sure about it.
Okay. So later on, I would be going to talk about DNS security also. DNSSEC, it used to named as DNS, and for the security, we used to say SEC. So domain name system security extensions, we will be going to use. Okay. So these DNS providers provide the very advanced feature like DDoS protection, okay, or DNS based attacks. It safeguards against those kind of attacks. Okay, these are the points. More security was really very important. What about scalability? Scalability means, let us say you are a new organization. Currently, the number of queries per seconds are very less. Let us say 100. Even 100 is good amount, but let us say 100 you are receiving. What if this number is keep on increasing over the time? So these service providers which are providing DNS services can handle a very high volume of DNS queries, making them suitable for the website and the services with a large user base. So scalability is one of the point when you are using hosted DNS, you can utilize it. Okay. Then what about technical expertise? It means if you are managing the DNS thing in your organization, you should have experienced professional who understand the complexities of DNS. Okay. They should be get ensure about your proper configuration and about the troubleshooting as and when required. But in this case, who is managing it? Third party. So you need not to worry about the same. What about next if I will talk about updates? So any of the server required some updates, right? Since you are using hosted DNS services, it can often quickly implement these changes because there is some another team. Okay. And it can be done in a seamless manner. Is this fine? Any questions so far?
I have a question. So this one hosted DNS means this is web application firewall.
Web application firewall, WAF. In case of F5, it is advanced WAF, which is new name. Older name was ASM. And that is a separate module. So WAF module do what? It mitigate the vulnerabilities on your HTTP and HTTPS traffic, probably I will be teaching you WAF in the next session. Sorry, who was asking this question? Venkat, you?
Yeah.
Okay. So Vishal is already there in the WAF batch, which I would be starting after this DNS thing. So WAF is a separate story. It's not the hosted DNS.
Because I thought Cloudflare is having web functionality. So yeah, that's fine.
Which one?
Cloudflare is having web functionality. Imperva and Cloudflare.
Okay. Imperva, Cloudflare, these are separate, service providers, and they can provide you n number of services. So when you are talking about Cloudflare as the hosted DNS, I am only talking about its DNS service. Similarly, if you just think about Amazon, so in AWS, you can use security, you can use networking, you can use even F5 also. Okay, different services you can utilize there. But we cannot say that it is dedicatedly, properly, built for only one service. Are you getting my point? Imperva is a good solution for your DDoS thing. And it is, you are right, it is a WAF.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Sir, I think Imperva is a leader in WAF technology.
Imperva is not leader, we can say.
As per Gartner quadrant, it's a leader currently.
There is lot of issues also with Imperva, that they do not provide you full control. They have all the authenticity in their hand. They give you only couple of the rights.
Okay.
So probably we will discuss about those things in our WAF classes. But currently, what I was talking about the hosted DNS, and I was saying you like how hosted DNS can be beneficial for someone. See, this hosted DNS will work when you have very small organization, right? Not for the very bigger organization who can handle their own DNS servers. Because you are owning a handful servers, okay, or applications, better to go with the hosted DNS server. But here the issues are, if I will talk about the issues are the control is not in your hand. Control is in the hand of your service provider. Let us say if you need to do, you need to divert the traffic. The user who is coming from US, you don't want to send him to the US application server. You wanted to send him on the maybe, Europe. Due to a number of reasons, you cannot make changes on the fly. Okay, difficult to customize or extend. It is more expensive because they people charge based on queries per second. But as I told you, good option for the smaller organization. Even in the bigger organization, people may use hosted DNS for some parts, not complete. This thing is clear to everybody?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, second way is in-house DNS. In-house DNS, also known as self-managed DNS. Or some people used to say it as private DNS. Okay. So, as the name is signifying that it refers to a practice of setting up or maintaining your own DNS server to manage all the DNS records for your domain. So, this time I am not relying on any third party, but I am managing it by myself. In this case, you people will be having like FI GTM. Okay. So FI GTM, if you are managing probably Windows server also, you can go with the Linux server also. But just to relate with our class, I am talking about FI GTM. So this involves the configuration and managing the DNS software by our own. If it is a hardware, we need to take care for our hardware. All the routing, we need to take care of. All the security, we need to take care of. So everything is under our control. It means if you talk about the advantage, the first advantage is the control is in our hand. We are the one who have complete control over all the DNS configuration. And if we have some specific requirement or security need, we can modify that accordingly. Similarly, if I will talk about in that way that it can be customized by us. Any custom configuration, any setting you need to do, you can do by your own because you have the control. Then privacy. Earlier, all the records are having with third party and third party can able to see. But with this approach, when you have in-house DNS available, the privacy thing is under your bin. Nobody else can able to see that, right? What about the security? Here we need to implement our security measures. If it is a firewall, we need to take care for that. If there is some DDoS or some kind of attack protection we need to do, it is under our domain. We need to check that. Okay. So this can be a disadvantage because earlier third party was mentioning this. Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
But the thing is, if your local regulations are coming and these are increasing, nobody will ask you for, more price per query. If your system is capable enough to handle those queries, it means it's all good. But obvious, you required a team, so you required an expertise. So you should have some technical team who can handle such a complexity for the DNS thing. Regarding the scalability, if your device is not able to handle all these kind of rapid growth, then you need to place one more device for the redundancy, for the reliability. Again, you need to take care by your own. Let us say if you are using some Linux utility named as bind, on which I am coming in a moment. So you need to do all the patches for the vulnerabilities. Okay. So here security can increase your cost. These patches or maybe expertise team is increasing your cost. So all the things we need to be taken into the consideration for maintaining, for down risk, everything we need to take into the consideration means as a management. Okay. So management will see that, okay, which solution is best for, and probably whatever the cost cutting they can do, they will do the cost cutting, and post that they would be, choosing one of them. Out of these two, any doubt, please ask.
Sir, maintaining that security part, DNS security is quite costly, right, for an organization. In-house, and then they have to take the Arbor kind of solution for DDoS protection and all this.
Okay, so Arbor is one of the DDoS solution. Imperva is one of the DDoS solution. Any firewalls can be also placed there, right? So regarding the security part, but obvious, we have different solution in place. And let me tell you, when you have a bigger data center, not only for DNS, but there are a lot of servers are residing there. So all of these things you take in consideration before moving to the any of service. So let me tell you, it is a router, it is a firewall, there can be a web solution, and post that, let us say there are some web servers. And on the top of what? Here you can have Arbor solution, you can have Imperva solution, or you can have n number of other solutions as per your choice or budget or maybe whatever quotation you receive. So these all things are already in place. And when we are setting up DNS server in such a huge data center infrastructure, we can, able to do that. We need not to rethink that, okay, we need to build up all the security for the DNS server separately. It is already in place. Are you getting my point?
Yes. Sir, and one more thing, one more question. The Linux mind is regarding the patching of the DNS, from patching on the server level, right? DNS server level security.
So let us say you have already built up lot of F5, right? If you are building a F5 on a VM hypervisor, the VM team is doing all the patching and all of stuff, whatever need to be done. On the top of that, you are running your appliance. Getting my point?
Yes.
Similarly, for appliance thing, F5 team is the one who is managing. For this VM thing, let us say Linux team is managing it. Linux team will be getting into the picture. So there are two different teams. For F5 upgrade, who will do? Linux team? No, F5 team will do. And for Linux upgrade from RHEL, maybe 7 to 8, who will do? Linux team, not F5 team. So there are multiple teams which come into the picture when we have such a, good solution we are providing.
Okay.
Venkat,
Yeah, I'm fine.
fine with it?
Yeah.
Good. Let's move further then. The last approach is split DNS. As the name suggests, I hope you people have fair idea that many organizations can choose a hybrid approach. Where they can combine both in-house and hosted DNS solution to balance the control, or maybe you can say customization, or maybe you can say the management. And in case of different organization, you will feel like whatever the bigger organization you have, you will feel like yes, these organizations have really very versatile solutions provided. So let us say if they are on the cloud, they are using cloud DNS service. Okay. Let us say they have some data centers available. They can use hosted DNS server for the internet user. And for their internal users, why to have this hosted DNS server? They will place some another DNS server which is on premises. Are you getting my point? So split DNS is something we can say a approach. And split DNS also named as split horizon DNS or split view DNS. So it is your way to provide different DNS responses for internal or external clients. And main purpose for the same is we are segregating on the basis of the resource. The internal resource are using something else. The external resources are using something else. Is this part is clear?
So which one will be higher priority? For example, so only public access users will go to hosted and the local users will go to on-premise. Will there be such priority or it will?
Let me give you an example, okay? Maybe with the example you people able to understand. There is a server. This server is hosting TCS portal. Okay, I am taking just a random company organization name that it is a TCS portal on which person can apply the leave, fill the timesheet, blah, 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 lot of things. Okay. Now, this server should be in a data center. I am taking a single server just for the ease. Okay. I know there would be different servers at different location, but let us for the ease understand. Let us say it is under a data center. Before that, there should be some firewall or something. I am just again, eliminating all the parts again for the ease. Here is the cloud, and there are multiple of the users who are sitting on the internet. When the users will resolve, let us say tcs.com, okay, tcs.com, they will receive the public IP just for the ease taking 1.1.1.1. Server actual IP is, let us say, 10.1.1.1. All the DNet and all of stuff is taken into the consideration on the firewall level that we are not gonna see. There are multiple users who are sitting here as well. When they are resolving tcs.com, they are receiving the IP 10.1.1.1 and they can reach directly because they are local to the LAN. Okay. Now, what I was saying, in this case, we can opt for some third-party solution. In this case, we can opt for on-premises. We segregated it. We are using a split DNS service. Got this point now, Venkat?
Yeah.
Vishal, any question to you?
No, sir. Got it.
Okay. So here we can use some Linux machine, we can use some Windows machine. Okay, if there are a lot of servers, let us say, we can use GTM services also. Depends. See, it depends how your organization is, how bigger your organization is. Let us say TCS has 100 clients. Just an example. Okay, for different clients, you can have different servers. Different even GTM services you can provide. So it differs how your project is. Okay. Let me delete this. Okay. Yesterday I talked about one point and I was mentioning about LDNS. Can anybody let me know what is LDNS?
Local DNS,
Local
which is
DNS.
maintained by the enterprise. Okay.
So partial true. LDNS is local DNS, that is correct. But it is managed by the enterprise is a very generic statement. As I told you yesterday, LDNS for me as an user is the modem, which is provided by ISP.
Yes.
Okay. So enterprise need not to do anything over here. In home network, it is generally a modem, right? So if I will say, what is this? This is acting as LDNS. So it referred to a DNS resolver. We used to say it is a DNS resolver. You will understand about this term, okay, when we will go further. But it is acting as a DNS resolver. DNS resolver is a component which is responsible for querying the DNS servers to resolve the domain name to the IP address. It means it will go to the root server. For root server, who is the client? This is not a client. For root server, this is the one who is the client. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yes.
Because user can have, let us say, 10.1.1.1 IP. In the modem, we are having some DNetting on the public IP. Okay, let us say 1.1.1.1. It will go to the root server. Till the root server, modem will go, not the actual client. That is the reason it is named as DNS resolver. So LDNS is acting as a DNS resolver and facilitating the translation between your human readable domains and numerical IP addresses. Because ultimately system will work on 1010, and for that your packet need to be get formed. For making the packet in the correct format, you should have all the components in place. Either it is source MAC, destination MAC, source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, and lot of other, fundamentals in different layer. Is this part clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now, it is important to note that your LDNS server rely on external DNS server to fetch the information for domain names. Only for those which are not cached locally. I talked about it also, about the cache. Yesterday, I gave you little bit overview that if it is cached on your modem will give the answer directly. It need not to go somewhere. This point is also fine.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Clear? Huh? Okay.
Clear.
So this is your LDNS part, what I was talking about. Now, can one of you please provide me about the detail of name resolution process, which I discussed in our yesterday's class. Very important question and very important with respect to your understanding also.
Yes, sir. As we discussed. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So as we discussed yesterday, like a minute before you to draw the diagram over there, when a
Okay,
particular
let me make a client.
client is initiating the request for particular www.
Request to whom?
To example.com is is
No,
typing in
that's all
browser.
right. That's all
Browser,
right. But to
it's
whom?
typing to local DNS.
Very good.
Okay, local
This
DNS.
request will go to the local DNS, which is acting as a DNS resolver.
So
Perfect.
it will check whether it's in cache. If it is available in the cache, the local DNS will give the reply. Otherwise, it will
Very good.
go to
So
the
let me create it first. This client is going to example. In the browser, there is no entry. Good. Second, it is going to the LDNS. There is also no entry. Perfect. Go ahead.
Then it is going to the root server. as you explained, whenever we are typing, there is a hidden dot over there, example.com dot, so
Okay.
it's going to the
So it will go to the root.
root server.
Let me get form. This is request number 3. Okay. What next?
So root server is not having the means exactly the resolution for this domain with IP. So it will move means send it to the top level domain, that is .com.
Perfect. Root server never resolve any, this domain name. It will forward to the top level domain. So fourthly, I can say root domain, just show the next pointer. Next pointer where it will go?
.com TLD.
Very good. It will go to TLD, that is .com. So I can just say the 5th query is like this. What next?
TLD is also not having the resolver. So it will point to the exact authoritative server where the IP,
Perfect.
means domain name to IP resolution will be there.
Perfect. So it will give the authoritative DNS, that who is managing that particular DNS thing. This is your 6th query. Now, where it will go?
It will go to particular authoritative server. Where?
So it will go to the example DNS for example. Okay?
Yes.
Not the server.
Yeah,
Who is maintaining this application? DNS of
it
that
will provide
example.
a resolution. Resolution is IP to means domain to IP resolution.
7th, it will ask for the IP. In 8th part, what happened?
It will provide the IP. It will provide the IP.
What it will resolve?
Domain to IP. And then the local DNS will give that IP to our browser. Means based on that
So
HTTP
wait.
request.
8th, it is providing
IP.
app server IP.
Correct.
Okay. Then LDNS will provide that IP to the client.
Yes.
Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
And in last thing, client will go to the app server for example.com.
Yeah, HTTP request, it will be provide an HTTP gateway.
It can be any request like HTTP or something. Okay, HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, whatever.
Anything, yes, sir.
But if I will divide this diagram in two forms, this upper part is DNS resolution process. This lower part is actual app traffic. Is this segregation is okay for everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Venkat,
Yes. Yes.
okay for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing, okay, as we mentioned over here, so means this was question asked me in an interview, that's why I'm discussing over here again.
Sorry, your voice is low. Can you tell me which part? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
Sir, initial request, initial one,
The first request. Okay.
Right. Here we checked the example.com and we checked in local DNS. Before that, I was asked, it will check
It
the
will
browser
It will
cache.
check browser cache. It will check its host. Yesterday, if you remember, I talked about host file. So if there is an entry in the host file, probably it will not go anywhere else, even not to
Okay,
the
first it
LDNS
will
also.
check the browser cache, then it will check the host file, right?
Right.
So, meant to be more correct, means elaborative, means that this was the question asked me interview few years back, and I was not able to answer it properly. So I worked on this question.
Okay. So is it clear now?
Yeah, sir.
And yes, it is a very important question with respect to the interview also. You people should be aware. See how they can ask. If you are opening Google, it is not opening. What are the troubleshooting steps you can do? So probably if you are going for the DNS thing, you need to introduce everything with respect to the DNS.
Right.
Suppose that if they are not satisfied, it means they are not digging you for the DNS thing. They wanted to get more about, right? So the initial stuff like your default gateway is reachable or no, only DNS is only Google is not working or anything is not working. Probably that is a different story. You need to build up that kind of rapport with the interviewer.
Yeah.
But this is one of the main point which you can describe him with the proper diagram if they are allowing you to create it. Okay. And they will be really impressed. Any doubt?
No, sir. Clear.
Clear to everybody, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Now we talked about something named as this resolution process for your DNS, right? There are a couple of the queries which works in the background. These queries, maybe if I will divide it into a couple of things, I can do. But before that, let me talk about some DNS servers categories. One of the thing I talked about is DNS recursor. Who is acting as the DNS recursor?
The resolver.
Right. Then root name server. Give me a minute. I am just trying to build one more example for you. Then top level domain name server. Name server means ultimately there would be some DNS for those things. And then we reach to the authoritative. These are the components which come into the picture when we were discussing about the whole naming resolution process. In case of your DNS recursor, it is acting at what? It is acting as a librarian. Give me a minute. Librarian. So one person is just coming into the library and wanted to have a book. Okay, I am just giving an hypothetical example so that you people can able to relate with it and will understand whole the concepts for the lifetime. So this person Sham comes in the library and looking for a book. So DNS recursor is like a librarian. He is just checking, hey, are you aware about that book? If he is aware, probably he will just guide you. Okay, go there. Okay. If he is not aware, what he will check? It will check the
Root
index.
server.
And the root server is bit like your index. That okay, let me check the index where it can be. Top level domain is built like the rack. So in the index, it is telling you there are different racks where the books are residing. There can be n number of racks. Okay. From index, it's able to understand about okay which rack you need to go. Let us say you need to go to the 101 rack. So top level domain is talking about the rack. And finally, authoritative name server is what? It is bit like which shelf. And from there, the answer can be found. Okay. Just an example to make you understand how this whole, resolution process works. So if any one of them is already aware about which rack or which shelf, probably they will not go to the next point. They will make you understand at the same time, and you can check that then and there. Any doubt in this?
You can see cache over there. Means that shelf information is directly there.
That is cache. Yeah,
Cache.
self information is a cache.
It's clear.
No
to me,
doubt?
sir. Yeah, clear, sir.
Perfect. Perfect. Now I was discussing about two types of queries. Let me talk about those queries. There can be two types of queries. One is recursive and second is iterative. Okay. What is recursive query? These are the queries which take place between the recursive server and the client. And what would be the answer for this query? Let us say if he is asking for some FQDN, the answer will be either the resolution, because doesn't matter if he has the cache or no, either he is going to the different server, he will provide you the resolution, or error message, right? So it can provide you the resolution, or maybe we can say the answer or error message. This is your recursive query. Now, if we talk about iterative, what the iterative query is? Iterative query is those queries which is getting placed in between your recursive resolver, which is your local DNS server, and the non-local name servers. It means from your LDNS to your root to your top level domain, or maybe if there is second level domain also coming into the picture, or any number of domains are coming into the picture till the authority server. So all those queries are named as iterative DNS query. Can you tell me what can be the answer for iterative?
So iterative answer is just pointing out, right? Exactly from where to go to fetch
So
the.
it can be answer also, or the
Yeah.
resolution also.
Yes, for authoritative case, it's a resolution.
Yes, or it can be a referral.
Okay, referral. Finding.
Got this point?
Yes, sir.
So if I will create that whole diagram again, you can understand two types of query happens there. One is the recursive query between the client and LDNS. Second is the iterative DNS query in between your LDNS to the other external DNS service. Any doubt?
Clear, sir.
If it is clear, let me ask you a question. There is a question for you guys. Is it possible that my LDNS is an authoritative DNS also? Please try to understand the question first, then answer.
Not 100% authoritative, because
No. I am not saying for the 100% cases. I am just saying, is it possible?
Yes, sir, possible. For that particular
Possible.
query, if cache information is there, means we can say the resource record, A record is there, means we can
But
give the
that is
resource.
not authoritative. If cache is there,
Mhm.
cache is not authoritative.
We can say, okay, yesterday we discussed the master and slave, right? Means primary and secondary, means that particular resource record is with cache. So
No, that is what I am saying.
uh-huh.
In cache, if answer is coming, that is not authoritative.
Okay.
Cache does not considered as an authoritative. Cache can be there, that I do understand. But my question is, can LDNS can be an authoritative DNS server also?
It's no. Answer is no, as far as I know.
No, sir.
Both of you know?
Yes. No. Answer is
Okay. Let me just recall you today's class only where I teach you about the split DNS. Can anybody tell me what is split DNS?
One DNS will be on-premises local, and one DNS will be outside of local network.
Okay, very good. Now read the question again and tell me the answer. Have you changed your view or the still same? So let us come to the question. See, if you recall, I talked about LDNS is DNS resolver, right?
correct.
I am creating two diagrams. First diagram is your home network. Second diagram is your enterprise network. In home network, user need to go to the outside. He will go to the LDNS, which will be a modem, and post that wherever he wanted to go, probably all that query root, top level domain, authoritative, everything will work and he will receive the answer. In the case of enterprise networks, when there are multiple of the clients, they can place FI GTM or maybe some of the DNS solution there. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
And let us say they are going to their own premises. So server is also residing in their premises only. In this case, FI GTM has all the records available. Zone file who is maintaining, this guy is maintaining the zone file. So it is acting as an LDNS also, and it is acting as the authoritative name server also.
Okay.
Getting my point?
Got it, sir. Because GTM has that capability to fetch those files, means zone files and everything, so that he can have all the resource records with him. So in that case, it will.
So let's not consider it GTM. Let it be maybe Linux DNS or any DNS.
Okay.
Because GTM as an LDNS is not a good solution. But I was just mentioning that you can have an LDNS acting as an authoritative DNS server also.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Point is clear to you?
Yeah. To become an authoritative server, it has to all the resource record, right?
Correct. It should have that zone file available.
Zone file available.
It should have the rights to modify the records, delete the records, add the records. So when you are authoritative server, it means you have all the permissions to do everything.
Correct.
Got it?
Correct.
Perfect. Okay, then let's wrap it up for today. Probably by next weekend, we will be, not stopping for anybody. We will be just continuing. Okay?
Okay. So both me and Venkat will be there, right? For this class.
I'm sorry?
Me and Venkat will be there, right? For the
Currently, you and Venkat are there. Yes.
Okay. And sir, what about the recording? Yesterday's recording is uploaded in YouTube. This recording will be.
This will also uploaded on the YouTube because these are very basic sessions, okay? And the building blocks, we can upload it on the YouTube just to showcase like how we are teaching, what is our approach if anybody, is interested in the DNS class. But furthermore, as we will go in the advanced session, it won't be uploaded on the YouTube because that is YouTube is a free. Okay. So we cannot give it as a free to everyone. It would be a cheating for the people who are paying for us. Okay. So you will be having a separate portal.
But sir, in that particular portal, all the recordings will be there. These one
Yes, yes,
uploaded
yes.
on YouTube.
All the recordings from day one to last day.
Okay. Okay, sir. Coming Saturday, there must be theory session also, I believe.
Sorry.
Because there are a lot of theory session would be also there, right? Coming Saturday.
Currently, there would be mixture from the Saturday. Probably we will come on the lab also.
Okay, sir.
So we will jump to the lab as well. I will provide you how the lab need to be, access, how you can make your own configuration on the lab. So you can jump onto the lab. You can do the stuff on the lab.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Any other question, Vishal?
No, sir. No.
Okay, then. Great day.